Hi guys, how are you and welcome back to my channel. I've been waiting to do this video for such a long time and today is the day that I finally share my rhinoplasty experience with you guys. If you're watching this video then you're probably here because it's something that you want to do in the future, or maybe you're just curious, so I'm not going to waste any more time and I'm going to get straight into it and talk about my experience. Oh yeah, and also just to let you know, this is now my nose just over a month after my surgery, so I am still very swollen. It's not absolutely perfect yet. My nostrils are still a little bit uneven, but that is fine. I literally see my nose change every single day. So I'll just kind of turn and show you my nose. So this is it from the front and from the side. So to begin with, I got my surgery done in Istanbul, Turkey by Dr. Muhammet Dilber, and I found him through Instagram, and as soon as I saw his profile there was literally not a single photo or video that I didn't like. So after communicating with him and his assistants, I just knew that this is the doctor that I'm going to go with, and I just felt so comfortable to speak to him, etc. And he knew exactly what I wanted. We had the same vision, so that is definitely something which is very important. You need to make sure that you and your surgeon are on the same page. So on the first day that we arrived in Istanbul, I had to get some blood work done just to make sure that everything's fine. So out of the whole thing, that is literally the least thing you need to worry about, because I know a few people get scared of needles, but honestly it's no biggie. After that we headed to the doctor's cabinet for our main consultation, and then when we actually got into his office, that's where he was able to physically see my nose, to touch my nose, to have a feel of it. What is also very important, if you have trouble breathing, if you have a deviated septum, make sure that your doctor actually goes inside your nose with a camera, and that's exactly what I got done, and this is what it would look like. It looks like a tiny metal stick, and on the tip of it, it has a camera, so that way your doctor can see exactly what's going on inside your nose. So once that was done, we took some photos of my nose from the front and the side view. We also did it from me looking up, looking down, pretty much every angle that you can think of. And then we headed over to his computer desk where he was able to show me potentially what my nose would look like in the end. So he made like a rough copy of my nose through Photoshop, and he said to me, is there anything that you would like me to add, or is there anything you would like me to take away or change? And that way we were able to talk about exactly what I wanted and what he could give to me. Then after that I just got given a few documents to sign and a form which basically goes through what you need to do before your surgery. It also talks about the side effects, things that could go wrong, and you're basically signing like a contract that you're aware of these things and that you're happy to proceed with the surgery. So the morning of my surgery, I got my surgery done on the 30th of August. We just woke up, showered, got ready and arrived at the hospital at 9 AM. And when I got to the hospital, my blood work was ready, so they said that everything was perfectly fine, so we were able to carry on with the process. When I got to my room, my nurse came in and I was asked a few questions about my health, so things like when was the last time I got my period, if I've had any surgeries before, if I'm taking any other medication, so things along those lines. They also asked me how much I weigh and how tall I am, and this is so that they know the amount of dosage of anesthesia that they should give you. Once these questions were over, I got given a little pill which relaxes you, and I wouldn't say it puts you to sleep, but it kind of calms you down and just relaxes you. And once that pill started to work, another nurse came in and she put the cannula through. So I just put that on, got into bed and just waited patiently for the doctors to come and take me to the surgery room.
Hi, Miliczka. Ospech.
And when I was put into the surgery room, the only thing I could remember was that I was really cold to begin with, and everyone was so nice and so friendly. They were asking me, how are you feeling, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I feel perfect, I'm just a little bit cold. And they were like, that's perfectly fine, like nothing to worry about, you're going to warm up in a little bit. So then the anesthesiologist came into the room. I actually didn't get any warning at all, like I literally don't remember. I can't tell you the last thing that I remember before being put to sleep. Me just lying down on the bed, and one of the nurses was taking photos of my of my face, and then it honestly felt like 2 seconds went by. And when I woke up, I think I woke up around maybe 2 hours after, maybe I'm mistaken. I kind of have like flashes. I don't really remember very clearly what happened after that, which, I mean, it's normal because you're on such heavy drugs. First thing I remember that came out of my mouth was that it? Like, is it finished? Like, for a second I thought, did I do something wrong? Did I fall asleep at the wrong time? I didn't even realize that the surgery was over. Like, I couldn't feel anything. I was also quite emotional, I realized, so I spoke to my dad. My grandma was also on the phone, and she said that my cat is gonna have kittens, that my cat has a little belly and the kittens are gonna be due very soon, and I had no idea. So when I found that out, I literally started crying because I was so happy, and I was just saying, I'm so happy, I'm so happy. So I definitely blame the drugs for crying. I wouldn't even say I felt uncomfortable, I was just numb. What you'll see in the video is me getting ice packs put on my eyes, and this is just to prevent any bruising and swelling, just to help it's just to help calm down your skin. And I think this is actually the reason I had the cannula through the back of my hand, is because it's just easier to get your medication through the cannula rather than taking pills through your mouth. Okay, so this is where the interesting part comes. So I had a pretty good nap, I'd say, after surgery. You kind of feel very tired, very drained, like you're low on energy, so yeah, that's very normal. Another reason I'm actually making this video is to obviously help you guys and let you know my experience, because no matter how much research I had done and how much research that you may have done, there's always going to be something that you might not have known, and this is exactly what happened to me. Everybody is different, everybody reacts differently to the anesthesia, their recovery is different, even the recovery time. So if you didn't know, general anesthesia is pretty much like putting your whole body in a coma, and once you get out of the anesthesia, your body kind of wakes up organ by organ, or I'm not even too sure how to describe it properly, but your blood is actually one of the things that wakes up last. And I really needed to go to the toilet. So I had my mum and my nurse take me, and I was just sitting on the toilet. This is after I had a little bit of soup, and like, I really needed to go, but it just wouldn't come out, and I was so confused. I didn't know why, and I was probably sitting on the toilet for maybe 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes trying to go, and it just wouldn't come out. But so I ended up researching it, and that was completely normal. But again, I didn't know. Nobody really had mentioned it before from any videos that I've watched, so that's definitely something to keep in mind. It might not happen to you, it might happen to you, so I'm just letting it out there for that reason. Also, this might be kind of disturbing and a bit gross, but I'll say it anyway. While I was on the toilet, I started to feel really sick, and I didn't actually feel anything because of the medication. Like, I wasn't in pain, I wasn't feeling nauseous, I just felt the need to throw up. And guess what? I threw up blood. Like, yes, it's disgusting. It's honestly so disgusting, and it sounds disgusting as well, but it literally came out of me like a fountain. So I threw up once, but it literally came out gushing out 3 times like a fountain. And my mum is a midwife, so she sees blood all the time, and even she was kind of like, not cringing, but she just didn't want to look at it. And because I wasn't in pain, I wasn't really feeling anything. I noticed my mum making like weird faces. I just said to her, just don't look at me, just let me throw up. After that had happened, I kind of just felt relieved, and I could go back to sleep. And you're probably asking yourself, why did you throw up blood? This is actually also normal, and the reason being is during surgery, when the doctor's working on your face, you will probably swallow a lot of blood. So this is just the blood coming back out of your system. That's completely normal, so if that happens to you, it's nothing to worry about. And then after that happened, I just went to sleep again. My mum was in the room with me, and the nurses just came to check up on me every 2 hours, and I'm not really sure the amount of... I think I got medication every 4 hours, but I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to double check. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. So also, once I came out of surgery, my mom told me that I was hallucinating. Obviously, I don't really remember any of this, but she told me that I was just talking to myself and just laughing to myself. It's just a side effect that you get from the anesthesia, so it's nothing to worry about. You probably won't even remember it anyway, so you're all good. So that was my experience in the hospital. And then the next morning, so we only stayed one night in the hospital. You don't need to stay any longer than that. I was able to walk on my own, but just very slowly. And if you feel sick or nauseous, just make sure you just keep your head up and just keep looking straight. The first day that I got home, I just had like a tiny bit of bruising on this eye here, a tiny bit of swelling as well, so it was nothing scary. And I wouldn't really say the sleep-in was that bad either. Oh, one thing that I actually hated was I got this big saltwater spray that you're just supposed to spray up your nose just to clean your nostrils, just to get rid of any dry blood and any, you know, bogies. So that I would say was the only kind of gross thing, because then you would just feel, oh, I don't even want to talk about it. You could just feel the blood and stuff like that up your nose, and it just wasn't nice. But I didn't feel any pain on my nose, none of that. So the first two days I pretty much felt normal. I was kind of moving a little bit slower, just taking my time. But on the third day of my recovery in the morning, I kind of felt like I just had no energy. You're not actually supposed to be going out or doing too much for the first maybe 3 or 4 days. So I made sure to just come home and just lie down and relax. The good thing is actually I had a pretty good appetite, so I was eating everything. The food was delicious in Turkey, as you probably already know. Feeling wise and probably look wise as well, actually I'd say the second and third day were the worst for me. And of course I'll have like pictures on either side of me so you can see what I looked like. I bought a few of these hats just to walk around the streets so that, you know, I'm not too eye-catching, and also because you're not allowed to stay in direct sunlight. Also, another thing, if you're nervous to go out with like this big plaster on your nose, honestly nothing to worry about. Turkey is actually quite a very popular place for cosmetic surgery, so people there are used to seeing people walk around like this. So for me it was no big deal at all. So then I think it was on the 6th day or 7th day after my surgery, back into Dr. Muhammet Dilber's office, and that was the day that they took out the tampons in my nose and took out the stitches. And I actually have a whole separate video for that, which I'm going to upload very soon, so I'm going to leave the link at the end of this video so you can go and watch it, and you'll also be able to see my reaction of seeing my nose for the first time. I'll talk more about the pain and how I felt with the tampons and the stitching in that video, so if you're interested to see that, then go ahead and watch it now. So also with the whole showering, it actually wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. It's basically like you had your makeup done nicely and you need to shower without ruining your makeup. That's pretty much what it feels like. So that wasn't a problem with me. I just kind of pulled my head back and just made sure I didn't get my face wet. If you have any unanswered questions, then please feel free to leave them down below. I'll be more than happy to help you guys out, answer them for you, even share experiences. If you've had a rhinoplasty as well before, then feel free to leave your experience down below if you want to. We can talk about it and just keep learning together. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see more of me, then my Instagram will be linked down below, so I'll be happy to see you on there as well. And that's all from me for today, and I'll see you next time. Bye!